It's time for the micro scenarios to get even harder. Welcome to Karnath's Lair. This scenario features a winding passageway where we have to traverse treacherous obstacles and go back on ourselves to face old enemies. It's named after a supposedly very difficult level from an old game named Battletoads, which seems to have these snake things that loop around, so feels like an appropriate name. So sit back and get ready, as I'm going to attempt this single segment with no saves. Let's go. First up is a longsword. Getting past him is no big deal, just get him to loop around and wall him in. Chase after me, please. Next up is a longbow. It's okay if I tank a couple of shots because I'm the poles and my villager will heal. I use the wonder to wall him in. I don't need to wall him fully because as I leave his line of sight, he won't chase me. The wonder just gives me a bit of room to run away. Now we come to our first intersection. I need to lure out the Lair guarding ahead so I can go through their opening, so I start with a blacksmith and a couple of gates. Once they're back there, we go forward. Okay, no problem there. They don't attack walls, but they do attack buildings, so I use a market to lure them to the side of the intersection. I need the market to be one tile back. Actually, 2 tiles back, like, don't wall myself in. There, I think. I didn't have a great plan for the market placement. Eventually I realized I needed it to be farther back, so I moved it a couple of tiles away, and eventually I'll delete that gate so the Lair move out of the intersection. And then we delete that, and they go for the market. Now it's time to dodge a tower and palisade chop to get through a couple of trees. And that should ensure they don't bother me on the way back. Next up is a fortress where we just have to time our dodges so we don't get hit by a volley of arrows. Okay, first fortress is easy. Past it, no problem. Now we need to get past a few gulams. Nothing fancy is needed here, just a few walls and they run around. I place another gate behind me so they have a longer path and I have more time to react with my quick walls at the front. Pass through, no issue. Now we destroy the fence to open up the intersection, which is cleared thanks to our market. Now go for the fence, and the 2 Lair should ignore me. They should be far enough away now. Yes. Next up is the Huskarl passageway. The enemies will attack my lumber camp, so I use that to help open a passage where they run around the back of the walls and I can go forward. As long as the Huskarl doesn't chase me too much, then I'm free to run through. There you go, he's attacking that. Perfect. Now we just need to worry about this Huskarl. Again, I use an outpost to draw the Huskarl to the back, and then I try to go forward and wall him in. Make sure that he's attacking that. And get that gate down, and that gate. Alright, Huskarl passage, we're through. Lumber camp goes here. There's one final Huskarl, but there really isn't much of a challenge to wall him in. Wait for you to run around. Delete that and go through. Gate, and gate. Perfect. Now we come to the next intersection. There are 2 gulams who charge at us, so we wall them in and make them go around. As they go around, we add a couple of walls to make their path longer, then move forward and wall them at the other 2 gaps. And tap that. Good. Now this guy who's like out in the open, I got a strategy for him. We'll gate there and then gate the side of that rock. And then he's gonna go all the way around that gate. The next gulam is fairly annoying. He's out in the open and there's no good passageway to trap him. We just have to gate him in, but that's gonna leave him at the intersection where we're gonna have to deal with him later. Next there's a knight that we can ignore, and then a dismounted Konik. We need to wall him in so he doesn't run around next to that gulam, but as long as we get him to chase us, he's pretty simple to trap. There we are. At the next intersection, we have some fun with the throwing axeman. By putting down a market, he chases around it and can't hit us, so we have more room to run around and get to the next area. We just want to wall him off, and then later delete the walls again to get him to chase us and be closer to the end of the intersection. I'll delete the blacksmith and market to get him to follow me a bit. This Huskarl we ignore, instead go this way. Get him to chase us. Yes, I just need to spin the gates properly and win a foot race. There we are. Alright. Next fortress. Ooh, let's not die to this fortress. This corner has another fortress. Again, we've done this before. Nothing too hard, just need to dodge the arrows. As we escape the fortress, we'll need to deal with a couple more Huskarls. Alright, fortress, no problem. Next, these Huskarls, build a market. Nice, this gate will make them need to run farther to get around to us. That. Now wall them off there and wall them off here. This Gulam, I've had trouble with him a couple times, but he should be easy. There's one more Gulam to wall in, and then we're back to the intersection with the throwing axeman. Thing is, I just need a gate around here to trap him a bit. There we are. Get that gate down, then that gate down, and then the axeman we might need to deal with again. I like doing a blacksmith here as I'm going through so he doesn't chase me as much. Hope I got HP on that. Looking back, I probably could have deleted that gate to the northwest and gotten the axeman to run farther that way and just quick-walled him farther up the passage. Then I wouldn't need to deal with him a second time. Anyway, we move on and can ignore one Huskarl, then get creative with quick-walling another one, using a lumber camp to draw him out, and then using a gate to wall him in. Build the gate. And then those two, and he's trapped now. Now the bombard cannons, this is easy, you just run forward and they don't hit you. They need some ballistics on them. Once we see the path through the maze, we can just run for it. The bombard cannons will not hit us as long as we keep moving. We just need to quick wall them in at the end so they don't follow us. And remember to wall them off so they don't chase after you, dealing with this guy. The next passage has a Genitor with a minimum range and not much attack, so we can stand in the minimum range to push him back and get a gate so he doesn't interfere with us in the next section. Now we just try to wall in a Gulam. Now we wall this guy in. Oh. Oop. That was almost bad. But we got him walled. Whew. That was close, almost didn't get that in time. If you're tasked to build something when the spear hits you, then you lose control of the Vil. Now back to an intersection we've been through before. The Gulam we left walled in earlier has come back to haunt us as we couldn't completely block him off from the intersection. We need to build a little bit of a trap so that he doesn't just kill us when we delete the fence. And again, we can use an outpost to try to draw his aggression and then slip past him. The outpost, he's got to attack the outpost at some point, I think. That's when we go around, yeah.
That looked like Theris. It has been a long time since you sent him to the underworld, Arcantos. Fighting old battles again?
Yes. Old enemies. I still see them here.
Yeah, this guy is simple, and we've gone from here to the end many times. We just need to make sure we don't mess up now. Now I'm starting to feel confident that I'm getting closer to the end, and this is a part that I've practiced over and over. I'm just gonna run down the passageway, and for the most part, the Huskarls won't be able to catch up to me. It's just the one at the end I need to quick wall in. He's gonna stop chasing at some point. Or, oof, that's farther than he normally goes. Now I'm just gonna be extra safe and wall in the Huskarl as I get past him. Just make sure that's walled in case he goes through the outpost. And we've gotten those two walls down. Now we do a market here. Gulam will chase me. We run around this side. Wall him in. Get him in there. And get him in there. This is the thing I worry about if that market doesn't go up in time. Let's run for it and okay, got it. Ooh, just got the market up in time. If I'm not fast enough or take the wrong angle, sometimes the Gulam blocks the foundation and ends the run right there. Guy will run around. Wall him in. Perfect. The camels shouldn't be an issue. Just to be extra safe, I'll gate behind me. Now gate down there to trap them. And now it's the cataphract with the very low line of sight who doesn't like to attack us. The cataphract at the next intersection is really passive, so I have to use a few buildings to draw him forward. I'm trying to stay as safe as possible while doing this since we're so far into the run. And can we place a blacksmith here? Can, but he's not going to get his attention. One tile more forward. No. Mark it then. Lumber camp there. Yes. The whole point of this walling is to draw him around to the rear so I can build a gate in front of him and trap him, and then use the side passage to get through with him walled in. Next up is a halb who doesn't pose much of a threat. We just wall the side so he doesn't chase us, then get him to loop around and wall him in. So the cataphract is now trapped. And we go for the halb. Hopefully that's not too far forward. And a couple pieces of wall behind us. Keep us safe. A gate, gate, gate. So many gates. Another throwing axeman is up ahead, but he doesn't have much range, so I can get him to chase me around a few gates. And this is the best part of the run coming up right here. This is the trick I discovered. We placed the Wanderer right there, next to the cliff and the line of, or the edge of that fortress range. Animals, including wolves, move off of a building's foundation if we attempt to construct it while they're standing on top of it, so we can use the Wanderer to push the wolves into the range of the fortress. And since defensive structures fire at predator animals, it will kill all of them for us. And then I right-click, and the fortress kills the wolves. Just gotta stand like over here, and then the fortress will kill him. There it goes. Before I discovered the trick with the villager and his spinning dance moves, that was by far the hardest trap. That is the best part of the run right there. The hard part is also not accidentally deleting the villager. I have done that a few times. Now as we're getting close to the end of the run, I'm being extra careful, placing down foundations ahead of time, and even using some extra walls just to make sure the Huskarl takes a longer path. Now that guy will come around, just wall ourselves in. Get that gate, that wall. Alright. You Huskarl up here. This one's kind of close on the timing, but usually we're pretty good on it. That, and then lumber camp there. Run through and wall them in, and keep going. Now it's the Teutonic Knight. Getting closer to the end. Every different size of building has its own use, and having that 2x2 lumber camp there to trap the Huskarl is very useful. Now all I have to do is get through a slow Teutonic Knight. He's slow enough that he doesn't pose much of a problem. Wall myself in, no need to take any risks here. Next after the intersection is a halb. He's out in the open, so he's pretty tricky to wall. I do have a plan, but things don't quite go according to it. This is the part we've practiced quite a lot. This halb, I think, is our hardest obstacle to go. Which way is he going? That way. Alright. Wall him in. Get... Oop, okay. We didn't get that gate down, but that's fine. Which way is he gonna go? Which way is he gonna go? Being indecisive. There we go. Get that gate and get that gate. Now get that all walled. Perfect. Yeah, that halb didn't quite run like I wanted him to, but we were able to recover. Next up, we make 2 holes in the wood line for the track worm thrower to chase us. He doesn't have ballistics, so he's not that difficult to avoid and then wall in. Alright, you come around here. Get you there. Get you over here. There. Alright. So those 2 should be the last challenge. And the most nerve-wracking part will be going through the final fortress. 'Cause, oh boy, if that fortress kills us, that's gonna be hard. Okay, just for extra safety, put the gate there. Guy'll run around. The Wood Raider isn't much of an issue. Next up, there's an intersection with another 2 Lechai on the other side that we try to wall in so they don't chase us. We're playing here at Lumber Camp and Gate, and we might need a gate while we're running. Lumber Camp gate. And gate there. Buy us some time to run around. Wall there. Wall over here. Second lumber camp there and a piece of wall, so they destroy both those lumber camps and move forward. The second lumber camp pulls the two Leche far enough forward that they will be out of the intersection next time we walk across it. Now we just have to find a way through the trees while dodging some tower fire. Take one hit from the tower, that's okay. Okay, this fortress, our last obstacle, let's not die to it. Ooh. Now placing a fortress this far into the run is just straight up evil. One misclick and the villager dies, and one pathfinding error and the villager dies. Sometimes you click too close to the rock and the village just runs straight into the fortress. Alright. Bring you around this side. And now we are pretty much done. We just get a Teutonic Knight to chase us so we can wall it in. Now we just need to make sure that we always delete the right thing. A fortified wall. I have lost by accidentally deleting that gate. Let's take this nice and slow. Press the right buttons. Fortified wall, delete. Fortified wall, delete. This part certainly could be optimized for a speed run, but here this is going to be my first exit, so I am trying to be as careful as possible. I don't want to delete the villager instead of the fortified wall, because yes, in my practice runs I have deleted the villager. Now we just have one simple Huskarl to get past. A lumber camp there. Draw that guy forward. Gate on the other side. Trying to stay extremely safe. Need to lure that Huskarl around. Gate there. Wall them off. And those guys hopefully are far enough to the side that they won't bother us. Could maybe try to wall them in, just to be extra safe. And I think we've done it. Just need to get past the longbow. Now it's just one final run all the way to the finish. Okay, I can just tank arrows at this point. Viper would... I have deleted the villager many times. And we did it, yes! Oh, that was much faster than I thought it would take. Well, it took me 25 minutes of streaming there. And my final time is 34:50. I'm happy with that for my first exit, even though it definitely can be optimized. If other people try to speedrun this, then I will try to go and do it faster, so your move, Viper.